Okay, so today we're working on multiplying mixed fractions, and we have a lot of computations. So I would ask that you rely on your notes and all of the steps until you have it memorized. First things first, always estimate your product before you begin, so that way you can go back and check to make sure your answer is reasonable. So when I start here, I'm looking at 3.5. You always want to round up. When you have half, you want to round up to the next whole number. So my estimate of 3.5 is about 4. And 4 2/3. 2/3 is more than 1/2. So this is closer to 5 than 4. So 4 times 5 is 20. So my answer, when all is said and done, is going to be about 20. Okay? All right. So first step, converting my mixed number to a fraction. Here are your steps. Multiply the whole number with your denominator. So 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Next step. Then add in the numerator. This is your new numerator. Okay, 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 1 more is 7. So this becomes 7. That's my new numerator. I go back to my notes. What's the next thing? The denominator stays the same. Great. My denominator is a 2. So this stays a 2. Okay, done. Next one, same process. I multiply the whole number by the denominator. So I'm just going to put a multiplication sign there. And then when I'm done, I'm going to add in that numerator. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. The denominator stays the same, 3. Now, when I multiply fractions, I multiply my numerator straight across, and I multiply my denominator straight across, because again, when you multiply fractions, you're going to get a smaller product. So 14 times 7, I don't know that. So I'm going to do a little bit of multiplication here off to the side. 4 times 7 is 28. 1 times 7 is 7, plus 2 more is 9. Okay, so my numerator is 98. 2 times 3 is 6. So here is my answer. It's an improper fraction. My numerator is larger than my denominator. So I go back to my notes, and it tells me exactly what to do next. So I've already done the multiplying straight across. Now, how do I convert back to a mixed number? So here is an example of an improper fraction. Divide your numerator by your denominator, okay? So I have 98, and again, think of this fraction line as a division sign. 98 divided by 6. Okay, now I do my division. 6 goes into 9 one time. Then I do 1 times 6 is 6. And I subtract. 9 minus 6 is 3. And then I do a check. 3 is smaller than 6. And I bring down my 8. Now, how many times does 6 go into 38? 6 times 7 is 42. Too big. 6 times 6 is 36. That will work. So 6 times 6 is 36. Then I subtract. 38 minus 36 is 2. I have nothing else to bring down. That is my remainder. So here is my answer. So 6 goes into 98 16 times. My remainder becomes my numerator. That's my leftover. Okay, my denominator stays the same. So 16 and 2/6 is my answer. I know I can simplify this fraction because 2 is divisible by 2, and I know I can divide 6 by 2 evenly. So if I were to simplify, I can divide each one by 2. And again, when we're dividing, I'm not changing the value. 2 over 2 means the same thing as 1 whole, right? So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 16 and 2/6, or I can say 16 and 1/3. Oop, 16 and 1/3 is my answer. Now I'm going to go back and check for reason. Is it reasonable? Here's my precise answer, 16 and 1/3. My estimate was my answer should be about 20. 16 is pretty close to 20, so I feel pretty confident about my answer. Okay, I hope those steps have helped. Again, please make sure you go back and take a look at your notes in your notebook. You will have these steps down with practice on iExcel. You will have all of the steps eventually memorized. If not, please use your notebook. See you guys tomorrow.